Well, how hard can it be? Well, you could get ran over, but wait, that would stop the car. Yeah, shut up. Whatever, you're nuts. True enough. Long story short, was able to corral the car, get in it, put it in the parking place, give the key to her. She again said, "Thank you, but you are nuts." And I wear the badge. I had a very wise man tell me one time about working through problems. And he says, if you take the consensus all the time, when you get down the road, you're going to end up with an average result. If you have a problem that keeps taking you in circles, maybe it's the idea that, the nutty idea from a guy over here, that's the idea that you really need. Now the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the 5-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And is it fun? Meet and greet.
Good job, Randy.
Thank you, Jordan.
No, we just need to put our heads together. It's not working right now.
Well, we have two guests to introduce today, and both are guests of member Josh Brady, so thank you. He gets an award for bringing the most guests. I think we have to add something to our 1911 challenge for that. But Matt Davis is here. He's the senior project manager and shareholder with Newman, and he has led 7 large projects that have been accomplished at the Blank Park Zoo. I think he's here supporting Ann. And also Don Erdman, who is the co-founder of Vine Company. Would you both stand, please, so we can welcome you? Thank you. Welcome, Matt and Don. And today we have 2 Rotarians with birthdays, but neither of them are here with us. But if you happen to see Dennis Bennett or Jake Unron, it's their birthday today. And of course now it's tumbler time, so please consider donating $5 if you don't have the little green sign on your name badge, and you can always throw some cash in there if you do. We always appreciate the work and the help that you give to make sure that our Rotary Club at Des Moines Foundation can help us do the good things that we do every year, and appreciate your continued support. All right, so where in the world is Club 27? And you can check this out. That looks pretty warm and cozy, doesn't it? Woo, yes. So Steve and Erna Moraine were at Half Moon Cay in the Bahamas, and they went ashore while they were on a beautiful cruise. And Steve said that the cruise, it was full of Rotarians. They met 2 past district Rotary governors, and there were enough Rotarians on board that they could have had their own meeting. So. No matter where you go. Looks like you had a great time, Steve. Thank you for sharing that picture.
And it was 17 below, and the winds were blowing about 25 miles an hour when we got home and our Bahamas closed.
Oh, brr. Well, we're glad you came back. We're glad you came back. So, you can always check out your Where in the World is Club 27 stick if you're traveling, or even if you're doing something fun locally, because we want to know what's going on, and if you're having fun, we want to go with you. Also want to remind you the Friday, February 23rd event that benefits Rotary's End Polio Now campaign with the Iowa Wolves will be coming up. And if you want to support the cause but cannot attend the ball game, please sign up on the tables and we can bill your account. And then if you want to go to the game, you'll need to use the QR code and buy your tickets there. And just be sure that you check out, when you check out, you give the Rotary Club in Des Moines noon credit so that they know that the funds came from our club's polio donations. And again, we're looking forward, it's gonna be a great game. They know they're saying it's gonna be a sellout that day, and they've got all sorts of fun events going on in addition to the game. So we really appreciate that. Jeff, always appreciate you coordinating that for us this year with the Wolves and the other clubs. And so now, give Ted Corrigan a chance to come up to the lectern and introduce our guest speaker today.
Thank you, Becky, and good afternoon, everyone. Today's speaker is a friend of mine, and probably more importantly for our purposes today, she's also a member of our club. Yeah. And she is the president and CEO of the Blank Park Zoo, which has to be one of the coolest jobs in the world. I wish I could have told my kids on Take Your Parent to School Day that that's what I did. It's not. Now, I understand that Ann's interest in caring for and protecting for animals started when she was very young, and it was inspired, at least in part, by the work or admiration for the work of her great uncle, who actually worked at the Brookfield Zoo in Chicago. So what a great mentor for her. Now, Ann's path towards her current role included a bachelor's degree in animal ecology from Iowa State University and a master's degree in public administration from Drake, so she was well prepared. She started her zoo career as an intern at the Blank Park Zoo here in Des Moines, but then she moved on to Duluth, Minnesota, where she was the education curator at the Lake Superior Zoo. For a period of time before, more than 20 years ago, she returned to Des Moines and the Blank Park Zoo in a similar role. And now over the years, the last 20 plus years, Ann's scope and responsibility has increased over time until in June of 2020, she was named president and CEO of the Blank Park Zoo. Now, I first met Ann several years ago when a team from the Waterworks was working with the staff at the zoo, kind of reviewing their operations primarily related to water use and trying to understand what they might be able to do from a conservation perspective. And her predecessor offered us a backstage tour of the Blank Park Zoo. And of course, as chief operating officer at that time, Ann got to give us the tour that was offered. And I have to tell you, that was an amazing experience. We got to pet rhinos and feed giraffes, and we really got a look under the hood at exactly what it takes to run a zoo and make it look like what we see when we go to the zoo every day. So ever since then, I have had tremendous admiration for what they do at the Blank Park Zoo and tremendous admiration for Ann and her work. And so please help me welcome Ann Schmidt.
Hello, good afternoon. I appreciate you all being here, and I will say that this is the best job in the entire world, and I am definitely the cool parent in my family. So yes, when I talk, I have 3 kids, and my oldest one just started college, and so yeah, growing up, all of them have grown up in the zoo world, and when you talk about what my husband does and what I do, I'm definitely the cool one. So anyway, we'll start there. But well, I appreciate your time and coming out. This is a topic that I'm of course very passionate about. I'm a little bit unique because I actually am using the degree that I went to college for, and I'm in the same place now for, let's see, I worked at the Blank Park Zoo, well, if you count both times, almost 27 years. So I've seen a lot of changes over the years. So I'm excited to share those with you. And I appreciate Ted talking about the behind the scenes tour. That's one invitation that I invite everybody in the room. If you're coming out or if you have kids or grandkids or family in town, give me a call. It is the most favorite part about my job is to give tours and be able to provide some unique experiences for our amazing animals that we work with. So anyway, my goal today is to hopefully talk about some of the things that you might not know about the zoo. So, where do I go here? Right here. You can just put it. So I'll start with our mission statement. So hopefully everybody is aware of our mission statement, but really it's to inspire an appreciation of the natural world through conservation, education, research, and recreation. A lot of people think about the zoo from the recreation standpoint, but maybe not the other three aspects of our mission. So that's what I'll kind of talk about a little bit today. I think it's working now. So a couple of quick facts. So we opened in 1966. If you do the math, I'm excited about this. 2026 is our 60th anniversary. So we just started talking about what that will involve and some of the fun things that we're going to plan a couple of years ahead of time. We are about 29 acres developed right now. We do have some additional property that we have the opportunities to expand on into the future. And then we are a 501c3 nonprofit. So a lot of people don't realize that. So we used to be city owned and operated up until 2005 when our long-term agreement was signed. We have an agreement with the city of Des Moines to operate the zoos. And we also lease the land from the city as well. So the city is a great partner of ours, but we are a nonprofit operating the zoo. And this is something I'm probably one of the things I'm most proud of. We are the only AZA accredited zoo in the state of Iowa. AZA stands for the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. When you have exotic animals, you have to have USDA permits and US Fish and Wildlife permits, and there's a lot of government regulations. AZA takes all those regulations and raises the bar. If you add up all of the zoos, and I'm going to put zoos in quotation marks, that have a USDA permit, only 10% of them across the country achieve AZA accreditation. So we're very proud of that. It's a 5-year cycle we go through accreditation. So those of you in like the medical field or education, you're familiar with accreditation. Many of us deal with accreditation. So our cycle is actually up in now 2024. So our applications due March 1st. To give you an idea of how much work that is, we started working on it in April of 2023 to get ready for it, and it'll be a year-long process for the accreditation. So, but it's something that we're very, very proud of and consider ourselves part of the elite. I turned it off again. Sorry. All right, so on our mission, I've talked about the 3 things a lot of people may or may not think about when they think about the zoo. So conservation is a big part of our mission. And really one of the things that we want to do is look at how can we inspire action from all of those in our community for conservation, and then also by looking at our own operations and looking at how we can be involved in conservation in many different ways and take action and be that leader in action. So we do this from our animal management programs to some of our advocacy work that we do. We have grassroots programs, like we have a pollinator program, we have it's called Stomp the Straw. It's encouraging people to reduce single-use plastics in their own lives. From some of our field work out in the field, and then support of conservation partners both locally and internationally. So when we look at it, we have partners all across the world. We were just talking at our table. One of our partners we worked with for many years is the Giraffe Conservation Foundation in Africa, working with different giraffe populations. So we really do have that global presence, and for a zoo our size, that's something that's really exciting. 2 of the projects that we're working on that I find the most exciting one of them is the Florida Reef Track. Has anybody been to the Florida Reef Track, to the coral reef down along the coast there? Or anybody a diver? Yeah. So it's an area that kind of runs along the coast, runs south. Interestingly enough, back in probably like 2015, 2016, kind of that time frame, there is a pathogen that is killing off the stony corals that are a part of that reef. So if you know about coral reefs, stony corals are really the skeleton of the reef structure. So researchers down in Florida with the universities and the Florida Game and Fish organizations were really kind of working on this. To this day, they don't know exactly what is causing the die-off of these stony corals, but work started to be done on what can we do to save that reef, because reefs are a really important part of ocean ecosystems. So they asked for, kind of reached out through our network, mostly through our EZA network, as to who can help partner in this area. And our aquarist at the time was at a conference, heard this, came back to the zoo and said, this would be a really cool project in Iowa for us to work on. So we are one of 26 partners that are working on the coral reefs. So what our role in this is, the researchers down in Florida harvested healthy stony corals south of where the pathogen line is coming down, and dispersed them across the country, so you don't have all your eggs in one basket. The idea is move it around in case there's a disaster that occurs. And then our job is to grow them, keep them healthy first, and then grow them. And when we can eradicate what's killing off the corals in the ocean, our corals will then go back to repopulate the reef that is there. So we have about 100 corals right now of different species. Our first shipment came in 2020, and then we've been raising them ever since. So really cool project, something that you wouldn't think about. Of course, we don't do a good job promoting it either, because it is behind the scenes because of the temperature and all the different requirements for those corals. So, but a really exciting project that's on the ground that really has a direct impact for those species. The second one is our newest project that we just started. We started it in 2022. So this is a partnership that we have with the Iowa DNR. So there's different turtle species in Iowa, Blanding's turtles being one of them that is endangered in Iowa. And the Iowa DNR was writing a grant in partnership with the Illinois DNR and a nature center in Illinois. And this project is looking at, again, how can we help increase the population of Blanding's turtles that is quickly dwindling throughout the state. So our job here is, the DNR's job is to go find hopefully pregnant females out in the wild. They will mark exactly the location where that female was found. That animal is brought to us. Hopefully she's pregnant, so we'll do x-rays to see if she's pregnant. She'll hatch her eggs at the zoo, then she will go back to the wild. We incubate her eggs and raise the young to a certain size. It's a process called head starting. And then those young will then be released where the female was originally found as well. And the head starting process, the reason you do that is the bigger the turtles are, the less susceptible they are to predation and the less susceptible they are to disease. So their survival rate is much greater. So this is another project that we're really excited about to help on a local level. So far we have not had successful hatchlings, so the females that have been found were not fertile. So we'll keep working on it. We're hoping this summer that we'll be able to actually have our first fertile eggs that come and we can raise them. But we have the structure and stuff all in place for that. So very excited about this project on a local level. Okay, education is our second kind of part of our mission. Again, something that people may or may not think about when you think about the zoo and education. And really our goal here is to reach audiences of all ages. So we have programs from 6-month-old babies all the way through your entire life. And so really looking at how can we engage people in the zoo in many different ways. And really, again, the goal here is to make connections and inspire people with the information they learn about the animals. So 2 of my favorite programs here. One is our summer safari camps. Has anybody had any kids or grandkids gone through summer safari? My kids have all gone through summer safari. So this is a summer camp program. It serves 2 purposes. Obviously, one, we want to inspire kids and get them engaged early on in conservation and working with animals and nature. The second part is, if you think about the needs in our community, daycare is a need that is greatly, a lot of parents need throughout the summer months when school is not in session. So this past summer, actually the last couple summers, we've had over 1,000 kids. We sell out, so that's our maximum capacity at this point. So we have 1,000 kids that participate, ages 3 all the way through 7th grade. We have them broken up by age groups and programming. So we're only limited by space at this point with those programs. So exciting, and they get to do some fun things around the zoo. So not only do STEM, each day they have a STEM lesson, they do fun games. We add art lessons in there as well. And then they get to, of course, interact with their animals. So this was my youngest daughter. She's now 10, but her favorite activity is to feed the giraffe. So, and I just love their face when she's there. The second thing that I love about what we do in education is our Zoo Crew program. So when we were looking at the programs 15 years ago and thinking about what ages of people do we want to reach and where do we want to develop our programs, teenagers are kind of, I call it the forgotten population in a lot of ways. So a lot of people don't want to work with teenagers. Teenagers sometimes have kind of a bad reputation. So our thought here is, how can we really inspire that age group to, one, be involved in the community, 2, teach them some job skills, and then hopefully keep them out of trouble. And so I love the teenager. I love teenagers. I love that age group. And so we started working with our Zoo Crew program. Last summer we had 170 Zoo Crew kids that volunteered their time all summer long. So these are kids 13 through 17 years of age, so just before they turn 18. They contributed over 5,300 hours of work at the zoo, which is pretty amazing when you think about it. Here's my secret. This is why I love our program so much. We've built into this program the opportunity for, our goal here is to have every child, no matter your ability, be successful. And so they have to go through an application program or process. So it's a 1-page application. They have to do an interview, and it's a group interview, and they have to come to training. What I tell parents or anybody that asks about it in the community, and our volunteer manager keeps yelling at me for telling her secret, but so I said the kids have to do the work themselves. And no matter what, they do the work themselves, and if they do those 3 things by themselves, no matter how well it's done, they will automatically be accepted into the program. So we have people of all abilities. We have kids on the spectrum. We have kids that work with job coaches. We have kids in the gifted and talented program. So there's that wide range of abilities, and everybody is accepted into the program. So that's what I love about it. The other thing that we did, about 6 years ago now, we took a step thinking about, again, how can we help everybody be successful, is we hired in the summer an inclusion specialist. So this is a teacher that works in the school district in West Des Moines, and now we've expanded it, so we have multiple people that fill this role in the summer, but they are individuals that work within the special ed classrooms, so they understand different abilities. They work with kids of all different skill levels and all different disciplinary levels. And so they will reach out to parents individually, both at our summer camp and in our Zoo Crew program, to make sure that, again, those kids are supported, and the staff that's working with them know how to work with them, and then they can have a successful experience at the zoo. So something that's a little bit unique that a lot of places don't do. And again, our inclusion specialist works not only with our Zoo Crew kids, but also at our summer camp as well, because we have kids of all abilities as well at our summer camp. I'll give you an example of one. I had a mother that I know that had adopted a son at the age of 12 from Africa. He spoke a dialect of French and was learning English, but loves animals. She was trying to get him activities where he can kind of use his new learned English skills a little bit more, but he was on a kindergarten level. And so I said, that's okay, have him apply. And she's like, well, I can fill out the application. I'm like, nope, if it's kindergarten census, it doesn't matter. He needs to do it because that's his experience. And then we were able to set up one-on-one interviews with him and do some accommodations to help him throughout the summer. So pretty exciting that we're able to work with those kids all summer long. And then the third part of our mission is research. A lot of people don't understand here. And our goal really here is to continually learn about our animals and look at how we can continually improve the lives of our animals. So not only learn about all the different aspects of them, but also learn what we can do better on a continual basis. And that always changes with the information that you get. So we work with universities like Drake and Iowa State, Central, and Grinnell. Come out and do programming. So they have different student groups that will come out. We have students at Drake University. They just started a degree that's a zoo management degree. So we have a professor that brings his students out every week. Sometimes it's every day to do different projects around the zoo and working with our animals. Most of them are welfare-based research. So looking at, again, how can we continually improve the lives of our animals. One of our research projects, and you can flip it, is a combination of not only welfare but also veterinary care. And so always looking at how we can learn more in the veterinary world, because a lot of our species there's not a lot of written information about, so we're continually learning the medical side of it. This is a program, it's called AIRS. We work with zoos around the country that have rhinos, and so it's specifically around rhinos. And so we are assessing activity level between a northern zoo and a southern zoo. We're also looking at their vitamin levels, diet and nutrition, and how we can learn more about what they need to be healthy animals. We send in blood samples, so our rhinos are all trained to voluntarily provide blood, so we can do blood samples and identify that on the medical level. And then we look at behavior. If you can notice in the corner, you can't really barely see it on her front leg there. There's a little white spot, a little black box. That is actually a Fitbit. And so, and this is what I love about this project. So if you think about winter zoos right now, our rhinos do not really enjoy this type of weather that we're having right now. So how can we keep them physically active throughout the winter just as much as they are, in the summer months? So thinking about those things. So at different times they have worn Fitbits throughout the winter and throughout the summer, so we can assess their activity level. We also did a similar study with our giraffe on that, and our giraffe are wearing Fitbits. So something we can all kind of relate to a little bit. So why does this all matter? There's really three kind of key points that I want you to take home about why all this work matters. So first, from a business perspective, it's economic development. So again, going back to that fun side and the recreation side of the zoo. So we have almost 500,000 people attend the zoo every year. So we're not quite, it was like 490,000. So we're just shy of that 500,000 mark. So our goal is to get over that. But if you think about the economic impact, we bring in about $36 million estimated impact from all those people. If you think about 500,000 people, they come from all around the state. Last zip code survey we did, it was every county in Iowa, 26 states around us. I think there's like 5 international countries were represented within our attendance. And this number is old. We're actually redoing our economic impact study this summer. This is from 2016. So we delayed it with COVID stuff to redo it again this summer. And then 40% of the people that attend the zoos spend the night in Des Moines. So that equates to about 50,000 hotel rooms for people coming to the zoo. The second thing I want you to know is our mission, especially when we talk about conservation, education, and research, is really, we're in existence. Our purpose is to save species from going extinct. If you think about what's happening in the world, a lot of researchers are calling this the sixth extinction because species are declining rapidly. I think there's a statistic like there's one a day that is going extinct when you think about all the different species populations. So we do this in a lot of different ways, from population management. In our AZA network, we work with breeding programs to help keep genetic populations. So I'll use the tigers as an example. We have a tiger that we just got from Omaha, matched with our female. It's like computer dating at its finest, matched. And that's one designation of an accredited zoo versus a non-accredited zoo, is we don't buy and sell animals. So we will move animals around based on the genetic need of the entire species. So So looking at how we keep that population healthy and keep out inbreeding. We are safe havens for animals that are injured, like our bald eagles. Our seals and sea lions are all rehabbed animals that are non-releasable into the wild. We've had otters in the past, so we have several animals that cannot survive in the wild anymore for whatever reason, that we can then have at the zoo. They can serve as ambassadors. Our research we already talked about, and then our animal welfare, so all the things that we do for our animals and for the lives of our animals. And then the third is hopefully we inspire action, and that's our ultimate vision is really we want people to come to the zoo and build that connection. I want you to find a favorite animal and have an experience with an animal at the zoo. So I'm sure we all have favorite animals. You know, I love the giraffe. You didn't hear that, but I'm not supposed to have favorites. But you know, the giraffe are one of my favorites because I have a connection, you know, with the giraffe. If you have that connection, we want you to learn more about that animal, and then ideally we want you to take action, and it's the small actions in our everyday lives that collectively have a big impact. So if we all eliminate one use of a straw every day, think about what that does, you know, collectively for our environment and for conservation. So 3 things, that's why we're all here. Now here's the really fun stuff. I get this question asked, so I thought I'd just talk about it briefly. Everybody asks what's coming up at the zoo. So you get a sneak peek that the public doesn't even know about yet. So we'll hopefully be announcing some of this information in April. So the first part is our strategic plan and master plan. We just wrapped up a strategic plan that our board will be officially voting on in 2 weeks. So we have 4 different areas: leveraging our leadership, magnifying the experience, expanding our impact, and activating our broader community. Along with our strategic plan is a master plan. So we have 29 developed acres. You can kind of see the red around, that's all the new spaces. So we'll be adding about 20 acres to the zoo in the next, hopefully, 20 years. That's what the plan is. And then changing not only our interior of the zoo, because continually updating again as we learn about animals, updating, but also expanding out some of those things and what we do. And our first projects that we are starting with, first one is Wild Iowa. If everything goes smoothly, we'll be breaking ground this summer. So this is a project redoing our eagles, otters, adding bobcat, which is another species that we can be safe havens for injured animals. Again, partnering with like the county conservation and DNR. We asked some of our partners there what messages they need help getting out. One is human conflict with bobcats. Right now, especially in urban areas now, so how can we help provide some of those messaging around that? Adding a life support or filtration system for our seal and sea lion pool as well. So very excited that will open if all goes well in 2026. The next one is a new lion conservation center. So if you're familiar with the zoo, next to our event center, we have a pasture that we had eland at one time, but we had Nyala there the last couple of years. Our lions will move up there. This will be tripling the space for our lion pride, which is very exciting. And then adding opportunities to breed in the future as well and help be a contributor to that population. And then once the lions move, we'll be remodeling the lion space and increasing our tiger area. So tigers are an interesting species. These are Amur tigers. So they are from the northern parts of Russia and a little bit in China, but mostly in the northern parts of Russia. So this weather, they love. So a perfect animal for Iowa. They can be out year-round, so thinking about welfare. This is a great animal. There's also, depending on the research study that you read, anywhere from 250 to 400 left in the world. So an animal that needs a tremendous amount of help. One of the things that we do with AZA and that we're asked of, our AZA organization asks every zoo is, where can you be the leader and help lead different species? Like which ones do you want to commit to and really take on that leadership role? So with our new space, we're looking at increasing the number of cats that we have. So we would have about 10% of the population across North America. And then be one of the leading breeders for this species. So really excited about that. And then the last thing that actually will be opening this April. We had the opportunity to break ground before all the snow and all the concrete was poured before the snow. So hopefully we're on schedule to open April 1st, but down in the center area of the zoo of adding a stage so we can do programming, both our education programming and then adding in our recreation aspect as well. So, all right, more sneak peek of things happening this summer. Again, you did not hear this yet because it has not been released to the media. So, but thinking about some of the really cool, exciting things that are happening. I just talked about tigers, and we've made a commitment to this species to look at what we can do for this population. So Bronovic, that's the picture on the left side. He is a new male that we just brought in he came from the Omaha Zoo. And so hopefully there's a slight chance, we're going to try, and hopefully him and our female will get along, we'll see. But he's really a beautiful, beautiful animal, so we're excited to have him join us. And then on the right side are snow leopards. We had snow leopards in the past. We moved them out. We will be getting another snow leopard. We actually already have it. But again, we haven't released it to the public yet. It's just finishing its quarantine period. So this is a population, again, highly endangered. When you look at the global or the national population within North America, you need places to breed, but you also need holding spaces. And this particular species needed some holding spaces that were available. And so we happen to have a space as we're preparing for a new lion area. And so we are going to be temporarily having snow leopards because it's something that we can do to help impact that population on a temporary basis. And then in our master plan, building a new snow leopard facility in the future. So very excited about welcoming him as well. Other sneak things, Wildlights. If you haven't been to Wildlights, or if you have, it's coming back again for the 4th year. We just went through our marketing plan 2 days ago. We have all new lanterns this year. So everything will be completely new, changing out that event. This is a new tunnel that you'll have, that I think it's a 20-foot long tunnel for picture opportunity. So excited about this because it's an event for all ages. It is one of our fundraisers for the years to provide this event. So excited to have this here. And then finally, if you haven't had your travel plans yet, or if you're still looking at where you want to go on vacation this summer, we are starting a travel program. So we are going to Kenya. You can travel with me. It'll be my first time in Kenya. So we're going to go on a safari in July. It's right during the beginning of the Great Migration to go see that area. We'll be doing 3 different areas in Kenya, doing safaris along the way, and then hopefully meeting our conservation partner. The plan is the Giraffe Conservation Foundation will come over and talk about some of the activities that we're involved in with them as well. So it'll be education and fun all at the same time, but a pretty incredible experience. So if you're interested, we have a few spots still available. So, any questions?
And first of all, thank you for coming and for a really interesting presentation. This may go to Becky or to Kitty. How about the Des Moines Downtown Rotary Club summer event, or Metro Clubs plural summer event at the zoo?
So that is awesome. I can help arrange that. You might know somebody. So the question was, how about a downtown Rotary summer event? And I have just the event. What if we reserved our pavilion for Zoo Brew and did a dinner and then participated in Zoo Brew?
Hey. Maybe we
It would be on a Wednesday.
We could move our second Tuesday to Wednesday that month.
Yeah, there we go.
That's a great
I'll work with
idea.
you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
When we toured with you, you mentioned eye surgery on seals.
Yes.
Is there much veterinarian surgery going on?
They're on occasion. So the question was, when we toured, we're talking about our seals and sea lions. So the story with that is we have 2 sea lions that were wild sea lions that were found injured in the wild. Were taken to a rehab center, were deemed non-releasable and looking for a permanent home. So we provide that permanent home. one of the sea lions that came to us, the reason she could not be released in the wild was because she had cataracts in both eyes and couldn't see. And so if you can't see in the wild, you can't hunt and survive. And so she came to us. It took about a year of training to get her comfortable, where she was able to volunteer. There's a lot of things, but we wanted to have her voluntarily participate in her own care, including wearing an anesthesia cone so she can safely go under anesthesia. And she had cataract surgery while she was at the zoo. And now I don't want to say she's fully sighted because we don't know for sure, but she can definitely see now, in the pool. So that's really, really exciting. Other big surgeries, we don't do a ton of surgeries on our bigger animals, mostly our smaller animals. But other exciting ones where we did this was a couple years ago, we did a root canal on one of our lions. So Dr. Dorner, you were there, yeah, you got to observe that one. That was kind of cool. We've done like hysterectomies on some of the animals that needed to. Of course, if there's several of our animals, unfortunately, animals have shorter lifespans in many cases. So, for example, tigers and lions, their lifespan is 15, 16 years. So oftentimes we deal with cancer and other issues just like, as people. And so sometimes that would involve surgery, that would go along with that if there's tumors or cancers, things that need to be removed. What are some of the other things? We just had a flamingo that just had a wing amputation. So he ran into a tree. It's a bird. I don't know. Just birds that went, I don't know. That's all I can say. But so again, caring for that animal. So we have 2 full-time veterinarians, and then we also have a part-time veterinarian that works with us as well. So they're busy every day. So.
One more question?
Do your annual passes still have reciprocity with other zoos?
Yeah, the question was, do our annual passes have reciprocity with other zoos? And yes. So part of our AZA network, and you can find the list on our website. So we partner with the zoos across the country and have reciprocity either as free or 50% off admission. And I think it's 200 or 175 zoos and aquariums across the country. So if you're ever traveling, it's a good thing to bring with you. I will stay after if you have any other questions.
Thank you so much. That's great. Oh, boy.
I tell you what, I got to go on one of those personal tours, and you can even touch the giraffe's tongue when you're feeding them. It's a great experience. I loved it. I go back to do it again.
You should.
Yeah. I washed my hands after. Okay. But anyway, Ann, thank you so much. What an informative and fun presentation and all the great things going on in our zoo. We are so fortunate to also have you as a member. And remember, we partnered, the zoo staff partnered with us in the community services. We had a wonderful blood drive just last month, which is part of our district governor's promotions and projects for this year. So thank you for that. They were most gracious, the whole staff. It was a wonderful experience. So as a token of our appreciation, you know the drill, we have purchased a book and donated it in your honor to the Des Moines Public Library, and your book will become part of the Rotary Rosie Reader Van collection, which our club donated $40,000 to the Des Moines Public Library Foundation back in 2020, so that this van is available to take tours and books around the Des Moines communities. We have fun things scheduled again coming up over the next few months. Second Chance Tuesday will be back on Tuesday, February 13th at Big Grove Brewery. Fun and fellowship are free, and drinks and food are at your own expense, and we'll be figuring out a little adjustment for the warmer months in the summer, early summer. February Flame, President-elect Kevin's going to have a wonderful evening for us on Friday, February 16th. You should all have received an invitation postcard in the mail and the email that you can sign up for this wonderful event. It'll be at Hyperion and lots of dancing. It's going to be great. And then remember, the next Friday, February 23rd, is Polio Plus Night with the Iowa Wolves. So upcoming speakers, and remember that you and your guests that you may wish to bring are always invited. Just need to have an RSVP by Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. to be sure we have a seat for you. And you cannot register your guests online. Please contact Kitty in person because she wants to have a name badge and everything for them so that we're prepared for our guests. So here we go. Next week, Matt Sexton will be here to talk with us about what's going on at Google Public Affairs. And then on February 1st, Max Wellman will be with us, who's, you know all Max with the singing vocal cords and musician at Noche. February 8th, 2 Rotarians are coming to visit, Peter Tian and past District Governor John Ackerfels, and they're the 2 pilots that traveled around the world in a single engine plane, and we participated in their return as well. So, lots of fun programs coming up. Remember to think about who would be interested in hearing these presentations and bring them along. Have them check out our club. Want to thank you for being with us today. You are a vital part of the Rotary Club of Des Moines, and you're what makes us tick. So until we meet again, let's get out there and have fun and do good in the name of Rotary. We are adjourned.